Hello Airsofters, this is Warhammer from Steel Reapers Airsoft, Airsoft Militia, and the 181st 6mm Light Cavalry Squadron. Today we're going to do kind of a old school, no school type video. So I'm going to kind of review two guns and just to point out some differences and how I think that Airsoft is kind of coming along to where it's making it more practical for everybody. So the first gun we're going to take a look at real quick is G&P Viper. Okay, this gun's been around for a while. I know it's still on e-bike's website. I actually picked this one up off of eBay, brand new, from a seller who was letting them go pretty cheap for about $288. They go for about $488 in e-bike's website, and they do come with a aim point style red dot, a tangle down type stubby grip, of course magazine. But for my build here, we've got a Noveski style flash can, of course the tangle down stubby grip. It's got came with the tangle down style motor grip and a Valtor type stock, and then I topped it off with an NC Star sight that's 4 power, and it's also got these backup iron sights with a little fiber optic unit up there in the front, and a G&P PEC box, which you're probably wondering why I don't have a pressure switch, because the little plug in here literally broke 5 minutes after using it. So what do I got to say about this gun? And then also just real quick, because you know, some people think this is pretty cool, it's got Troy trades on it. So this gun right out of the box shoots at about 408. So let's say you got a friend, Jesse. Everybody probably has a friend named Jesse. I don't, but anyway, he's getting into airsoft and he's been using one of your older guns, and he's kind of like, well, it doesn't always work all the time, so he wants to get his own gun. So he finds a G&P Viper for sale, but he doesn't know much about guns. So, you know, maybe he stumbles across this video and finds out, hey, it's a pretty cool gun, it's something I want to get. But Jesse doesn't know how to tech on guns, so how am I going to get this gun to where I can shoot 350 feet per second so I can use that, let's say, my CQB field? So of course everybody who knows a little bit about airsoft would say, well, you know, you take the gun apart, split the gearbox, change out the spring, or you can do the less efficient and kind of field expedient version, which is drill a small hole in the nozzle to kind of bleed off some of the air. Okay, so, you know, he's a little like, well, you know, the money's right, but, you know, let's say the guy he's going to buy this from, selling it for $250, which is a pretty good deal. But anyway, so he's like, well, you know, what am I going to do? You know, I just don't know enough about guns, airsoft guns in particular, to, you know, competently do this and not screw up the gun, because I've seen plenty of people taking their gearboxes apart and the guns never work again. Okay, so that's where the next gun comes into play. And what we have here is something pretty new. It's come from APS. It's called their Phantom Extremis. These have been out on eHobby's website since about the holidays. They've just hit e-bike and they're going for about $260. I picked this up with the discount last month, so I got it for less than what it would cost just to buy the gun. So I got the shipping gun for $245. It's pretty unique. It's got its own proprietary rail, key mod style. I've got an APS skeletonized metal foregrip here that you can actually put some batteries up in. Comes with their own flash hider, which is an orange tip. It just came right off. I've got an Element PEQ box on top, another NC Star red dot sight, so it's not magnified, but it does have a laser and a navigation light that are part of the unit. It's got a ambi style charging handle, and it's also something kind of neat. It's not necessarily that big of a deal, but it has a functional bolt catch. Kind of cool, huh? It's also ambi. It's got your safety on both sides, mag release on both sides. Okay. Now, how does this gun become kind of unique is that the fact that it has a quick change spring. And you go, well, how does that, how do you, I know most version 2 gearboxes don't have a quick change spring. I think there's been some in the past. I know there's some coming out. I was watching some SHOT Show videos this year, which is a good thing. So in order to get to the spring, and it's really quite simple, remove the stock. That's nothing more than pulling these tabs down. You also have this little pistol trigger here that you can use to adjust the stock. So you remove the stock. You take your AR wrench, and no self-respecting airsofter who runs an M4 or M16 style gun would be without a AR wrench, but you loosen the castle nut off, you back it off enough to pull out the locking plate, and then you just screw off the buffer tube, and guess what? You do a quarter turn and you're accessing your spring. So it's pretty simple. You don't have to have a whole lot of skill to do it, or gun knowledge. So that's how it works out from your friend Jesse. But anyway, what I did do is I did put a battery in this because this is something that APS does, and not a big selling point with me, but check it out. So the bolt cover or faux bolt goes back and forth. It's kind of clunky, clanky. It's not really my thing, but that's what APS does pretty much with all their guns. This also has, I don't know if you know this, it's called a silver edge gearbox, which APS does is pretty much polish the entire gearbox to kind of remove any burrs so that it's supposed to operate a little smoother. Yeah, okay. And real quick, when I bought this gun, so it was shooting about 408 right out of the box. So that was the nice thing about this. What I did was obviously I took the buffer tube off, pulled the spring, I cut it down. Now I'm down to about 348. So now I got my gun set up for CQB, okay? And 350 is the limit at our local field with 20 gram BBs. So that's where, the new school, or what I say is, airsoft's kind of coming around. It's kind of, hey, let's make some sense out here, because how many guns do you buy out there to come right out of the box at over 400 feet per second? And, really, I think even for a rifleman in most milsim events, 400 is pretty much the top. So, you either had to have a pretty good idea on how to take a gearbox apart, and I know how to do it, but because of my vision, I can't necessarily see all those little parts, and then it'll always have some spring that pops out there and you hear it hit the kitchen floor and you can never find it again. So this is definitely a step in the right direction. As for the externals on this gun, they're up to what the G&P is, and I don't know if you can see this, but they've got some, relief on here to make it look like it's somewhat skeletonized. Give it that kind of modern look, I guess. Also, it's got the flat trigger, which is kind of nice, and then the extended trigger guard. So if you're wearing gloves, and you can actually damn near wear mittens to fire this thing. Okay, so anyway, I've used it so far. I like the gun. It's my only criticisms of it at this point is there's a little bit of resistance in the trigger. I don't know if that's just the trigger sled needs to smooth out or get broken in. And they kind of underspec a undersized buffer tube, so you got some wobble in the stock here, which I've got a G&P buffer tube that I'm probably going to try swapping out and see if that'll tighten it up. Not a big deal. I put a little electrical tape in there to kind of cinch it up because it actually wobbles a heck of a lot more than that. But other than that, it's got a nice balance to it. Not too hard to hold up to your shoulder. I mean, even with the pec box on the front, it's pretty balanced. Anyway, I really like this gun. Like I said, the quick change spring is a big plus. I mean, this gun has got some versatility to here. And there's also a longer version of this that APS makes. Again, it's also the Phantom Extremis. And you know what, I tell you what, check them out. I mean, I don't know, APS, I don't see them at any of my local fields that I play at, but I'm kind of, for my team, the Steel Reapers, I'm kind of, hey, this is something we should look at for a team gun because we can use it in any field, and it's not like it takes a whole lot of effort to change it from CQB to outdoor events. But anyway, if you got any comments, let's hear them. And I like or hate, whatever, I'm an old guy, so you're not going to hurt my feelings. But anyway, that's about it for today. And real quick, I want to do some quick shout outs to DMZ Airsoft, which is our local CQB field indoor. JTAC Milsim, which puts on our weekend warrior events and some larger events. And check out the 181st 6mm Light Cavalry Squadron Facebook page and the Steel Reapers, my team's Facebook page that I'm a member of. Alright, all you guys, be safe out there and call